Hey guys, Head on a Spike here with a very celebratory video today for you. Today I'm going to be showing you every single Polybag from Marvel and DC, both of them. And this is in honor of getting 100 subscribers on this channel, which I never thought I would get. So, in order to thank you guys for your support, I want to show you my personal collection of Marvel and DC Polybags, and all of them are sealed. So I'll go over each one of them in order the year they came out in, and we'll take a look-see at each one of them and see the differences and details and tell you all about them, all the history I know. Here we go. So, let's start off with 2012. 2012, we got this Hulk Polybag and this Lex Luthor Polybag. So as you can see, the detailing is very nice for both of them. Very big explosions for both. What's strange about these is the Hulk one is so much smaller than the Lex Luthor one. I always thought that was odd. And even to this day, still, some polybags are just larger plastic bags than smaller ones. And I don't really know why. I thought it was like a whole let's go green sort of thing. Ha, no pun intended, because he's green. And so is he, actually, with his armor. But, you know, then they keep doing it anyway. They keep having giant bags. So, this is what the backs look like. I got this Hulk one at a Comic-Con? No, more like a Lego toy fair. It was like the whole big brick fair thing, actually. It was a while ago, around 2015, I want to say, when I found this one. And the Lex Luthor one, I had to get off eBay because he was hard to get. He came out in the I believe the very first Lego Batman video game, or maybe DC Superheroes video game. One of those two. He was like a GameStop exclusive, I believe. Yep, and there's the back. You can see there, 2012. Yep. So I always leave all my polybags sealed because I like keeping them that way. Then they're worth more money someday. So that is 2012. Let's look at 2013. And guess what? What's funny is we get a reverse effect. You see, now we get the large polybag for Marvel and the small one for DC. So I don't know what's up with that, why Lego did that. But what's also interesting is that this Marvel one has so many more pieces, like the Lex Luthor one, compared to the Hulk one. And now it's vice versa. They really changed everything about these two themes. So let's look at the boring one first. Jor-El. He came out in 2013, like I said. Yep, there's a logo. There's the back. He comes with a little brown cape, a unique face, which is nice. It's not a bad face. It's pretty good for customs, I suppose. A very plain-looking hair. I believe the legs are the same as the usual 2016 Superman. The torso, I think, is different, though. It has like a brown S instead of a red one. So yeah, he's an interesting figure. It's kind of nice to have in the collection. Very plain, very simple. There's the back. Nice detail, nice silver print. Let's look at Iron Patriot, because this one's awesome. He goes for a lot of money nowadays. He goes for about easily $75, even when he's loose. And when he's sealed, I've seen him as high as like 150 or more. So he's a really rare one. He also, again, came out in a video game. He came out with, I believe, the Superheroes Avengers game, or Marvel Superheroes game that came out in 2014, I believe. And he's a wonderful, wonderful minifigure. Such great detailing. I can try to maybe show you some of the detailing through the packaging. Not easy though. Oh, there's the torso. You can see how reflective. Well, that's the legs actually. I can find that torso for you because it is really pretty. Very, very detailed. Oh, there's the helmet. It's a very nice round helmet. I think that's probably the only time we've gotten a dark blue Iron Man helmet with silver on it. We get that with the Ultron figure, but like the Iron Man, Iron Legion figures, but they have like a blue helmet, but it's like a gold visor. There's the torso, the back of it. See how reflective it is? It's a very, very cool figure, very nice. This is probably one of the best polybags they've ever had for Marvel. So that's 2013. Let's go to 2014. Now, 2014 is cool because we get 2 DC and 2 Marvel. So what's kind of crazy about that is that I think this is the only year when they coincided like that. I got this one from GameStop. You can even see it has like a little like GameStop number thing for like the Justice League video game, perhaps. I kind of forget exactly when it came out. It even says video games. This is Plastic Man, 2014. Very simple figure. Nice printed legs though. That's kind of cool. And they are printed. They are not dual molded. Yeah, it's kind of got like an Elvis Presley looking head and hair. So he's kind of just a funny looking dude. The other DC one, let's do DC then Marvel. The other DC one is Martian Manhunter. This was a really sought after polybag for a while because this is the only way you could get him. And again, since this is 2014, it is before 2015 when he came out in regular minifigure form in a set, which came out in 2015 with Supergirl and Brainiac and Superman, I believe, and it came with a different variant of Martian Manhunter. He didn't have this type of detailing on the torso, and he had a different cape. Everything about him was different. He also only had plain blue legs, not this really nice detailed legs that this one has. One thing I don't like about this polybag is that you don't get to see the figures inside. Like with this other one, it has like that nice clear strip so you can see the pieces. You don't get that feature with this 2014 polybag, which is kind of a bummer, because I would love to see the pieces inside. They did the same thing with the Darth Revan polybag, and I think all the polybags actually from 2014. TC4, Darth Revan, Martian Manhunter, except the two Marvel ones, they do have strips of clear plastic so you can see them. Speaking of Marvel, sorry if I'm talking too fast, you can always rewind and listen closer to what I'm saying. This is Rocket Raccoon, obviously. He came from Toys R Us. I just got mine off eBay, though. I don't know when he was at Toys R Us, but it must have been pretty early. Ironically, I actually got this one from Toys R Us, and not this one, even though this one says Toys R Us. I remember vividly, I bought this one for like $5 or $4 at Toys R Us, right around a little bit before they all closed. So I guess it was like one of like the last things they could offer. They like a year or two before I closed. Either way, they were on the downhill. Back to this one. What's interesting about Rocket is he has stickers, and this is the only polybag. There's one other polybag that has stickers, and we'll get to that one eventually. Here's a hint. It's right there. It's Hulk. He also comes with stickers. But yeah, this is a really nice polybag for Rocket. He has really nice detailing on the legs and the back, and it's very unique. Even he has printing on the arms as well. It's a very nice figure. Nice stripes on his arms. Really great for customs if I ever took it out of the bag. But you can find it loose for pretty cheap. Let's see if we can find the logo. Yep, 2014. Yep, so it's a nice one. Pretty cheap. Even when it's sealed, it's pretty cheap. Let's talk about Electro a little bit. Electro is very simple. This is the only, I think, sanctioned set ever made that is for Amazing Spider-Man 2. Besides, I suppose you could say the San Diego Comic-Con Spider-Man, which came out the same... Actually, he came out in 2013. And that's like the most expensive San Diego Comic-Con minifigure ever made in history of ever. He's about $10,000 for that one figure. I would never buy it. I would never want it. Even though it is Andrew Garfield, and that's kind of cool because we've still yet to get a actual Andrew Garfield minifigure. Spider-Man, like real one, that's like in a set. But I have a feeling like we're gonna get one next year. They still haven't made any Far From Home sets, and there's so many great opportunities to do that. They can make the new version of Electro instead of this blue one with the Jamie Foxx still, and they could have the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. I do like the color of this Electro. It's kind of cool. I like the light blue hands, and I like the legs too. Actually, I think that'd be really cool for like certain figures. Like when I made the Halo 3 ODST minifigure for Rookie, I think these would be really cool legs for him. But I never wanted to take it out of the bag. Even though he's also pretty cheap on the aftermarket. He's like, anywhere between $8 to $10. Maybe he's more nowadays because of the movie, but I haven't checked. So, what's weird about 2015, I'm right. 2015 is that there were only Marvel polybags, and there were 3 of them. And there weren't any DC polybags in 2015. Not a single one. We only get Marvel polybags. This is when things start to shift and it gets strange. let's start with Hulk, because I already kind of previewed him already when I glanced over. Again, he says he's from Toys R Us. I never saw him at Toys R Us, but I guess he was apparently there at some point. This is another pretty cheap polybag, very similar to the Rocket one, like I said, because it has stickers. Nice detailing. I actually have two of these. One of them I opened to use for customs, and one of them I just have sealed here because I like heavy seal polybags. Yep, 2015. There's the logo and all that. These are nice. So you can pause the video and look at all this information if you care. I don't know. I guess some people might. Yeah, he's a cool one to have. He's very similar to the 2012 one, obviously, because this is like the minifigure form of the Big Fig Hulk we usually have in sets. So it's kind of cool to have the olive green one, and the other one's like the regular green. Enough about Hulk. Let's talk about Bucky. I'll save the best one for last. Bucky came out in 2015 as well. What's weird is that it says Avengers Initiative, and it should say like Winter Soldier, I feel like, because, you know, that's like, this is even the same bridge when he like fights Captain America the first time on the bridge. And it's a nice polybag. I got ripped off for this one. That's the story with this one. I found it on eBay for like $45, and it was the only one. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get this. And then I bought it, and then like, you know, a week later it was like $5, and I was like, oh crap. Sometimes you get ripped off, you live and learn. What's interesting about this figure is that he has two faces, actually. He has this one with like the mask, and he has this other one, just like from the comics. Like the comics Winter Soldier. That's kind of interesting. It looks like Nightwing almost or something. Kind of an interesting figure. It's got nice detailing on the back and nice detailing the arms. I also like the side printing on the leg. He has like a holster there. It's just kind of cool. Maybe try to find the legs for you. It's not easy to do this. Maybe. Yep, there's some legs. Okay. So you can try to look at that holster because it is a pretty cool pattern. See if we get lucky. You can kind of see that, maybe. Yeah, there you go. There's a nice little holster pattern you can see that I was telling you about. It's a cool figure. It is. And that would be a nice piece to have for customs if I ever took it out of the bag, which I won't. Even though he is pretty cheap. Enough about him. The best one ever is Silver Centurion, which I've already talked about recently when I talked about the brand new Sam Wilson Falcon minifigure that came out from the Marvel CMF series. Yeah, how it was slightly better, and now this one is only second best as most detailed minifigure ever made in the history of the universe. Yeah. He's still really expensive today. What's strange is, like, some people think it came out in 2016, but as you can clearly see, that's a 5, not a 6. So I don't know why. Some people say it was 2016, some people say it was 2015. He came out in the Avengers Age of Ultron video game, which is like the sequel to the first Lego Marvel Superheroes game. As you can see, it has like a little game code there. So he's an amazing figure, though. I'm thinking of getting a second one loose, even though he'll be like at least $50 or 60 or 75. It's crazy whether he's loose or sealed. He's really expensive. But he's a really great figure, wonderful figure. I'm really glad I have one at least. So that is 2015. And like I said, it's only Marvel. Now in 2016, we get only DC. And I don't know why that happens, why that is the case, but it is. There's no Marvel in this entire year of 2016, even though Silver Centurion kind of bled over with the GameStop passes. But we have 3 DC polybags here. Now this one, I'm not even sure where you could get it. I just found mine, again, off eBay. He came out around the same time as the 1960s Batman set. The huge one, that was like the entire Batcave and like all those figures from the 60s. And I guess they wanted to make Mr. Freeze because he wasn't in that set. That's a cool one. Pretty simple, pretty cheap. Yep, 2016. So, moving on. Now, these next 2 are actually from DVDs. Also makes them kind of cool. Let's talk about Mr. Cosmic Boy first. He is from the Legion Superheroes, apparently. I don't know if that's a TV show or what that is, or just some sort of affiliation he's with. But he has like a little L in his belt. You can also find the same logo, interestingly enough, on the Lightning Lad minifigure that came out in 2015. And this one came out in 2016, as you can see. And he's a cool one. He's a nice minifigure. He has a lot of pieces and parts. Like a little magical circle thing he stands on. It's pretty cheap though. He also has 2 accessories for his hand, which is unusual. I don't think any other minifigures get that. So it's kind of cool. Now, Mr. Nightwing. He is also from a DVD that came out in 2016 as well. As you can see, here's the logo. And, he's a really nice minifigure. I think he might be the best Nightwing that they've made. There's a logo over there. I think it's the nicest Nightwing that we've gotten. And it does look very similar to the Winter Soldier that I was just showing you a little bit ago. But also, they're pretty cheap. No detailing on the legs is kind of a bummer, but good torso and nice hair. What goes well for the character, I think. And that is 2016. Moving on. Now, in 2017, things get completely out of balance and out of whack because we get 3 DC minifigures and only 1 Marvel. Tell me, how is that fair? So, what's really interesting about... Well, let's finish Marvel first. Then I'll talk about DC. So there's only 1 lone, single Polybag for Marvel. It's the last one ever. This is Giant Man, Hank Pym. And I think he also came from a video game. The Avengers video game, some other Avengers game. I don't know. I never bought it, but I got the Polybag. And it's very simple, very not very detailed. The head kind of looks like Cyclops to me. The logo is right up there, so you can see that it is from 2017, like I said. And yeah, pretty simple, pretty plain Jane. Kind of a letdown for the very last, Marvel minifigure ever made, essentially, for Polybags. I hope they make more, but they haven't in a long time. 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 25 years? 5 years ago this thing came out, so it's a while ago. But that is the last one from Marvel. Now let's talk about DC. These, all 3, came out for the Lego Batman movie. And let's talk about this one first, because this is crazy. This is the very first time Lego ever made a battle pod, as they call them. And it was the unique figure and this weird pod thing. Super bulky Polybag. And, yeah, as you can see, the pieces are all there. There's like this torso. Has nice printed arms as well. 2017. And he even has printing on his hips, so he technically has printed legs. Because the legs are attached to the hips, so it kind of counts, but not really. He comes with accessories, like a little grappling hook, a little map or something, and some other stuff, like a batarang. And he goes for a pretty good amount of money sometimes, I think. I haven't checked lately, but I remember the figure alone was like in the 60s at one point. Now, let's talk about Batgirl. This is like one of the only girl Polybags we've gotten. There's one other one coming up, which you'll see soon, but she's the first unique Polybag minifigure from a set. I forgot to mention that earlier. I'm only showing the Polybags that have unique minifigures, not from other sets. So I only cared about collecting the unique ones because they were special. They weren't in anything else. You can only find them from this type of set. So let's see here. She has a unique face. That's the only really thing that's unique about her. It's that she has a unique face. She has a little winking face, which is very adorable. And she's from 2017. And the rest of her is completely the same as all the other Batgirl minifigures that came out this year. All the other Barbara Gordon, which is played by Rosario Dawson, all of those, they all have the same exact face and or torso and legs anyway, and hat, head, helmet,
piece and cape, all of it's the same. So I only really bought this from the DVD to get the head, essentially. But it still counts as unique because of the head. Now, this is the first and only time we've ever gotten a polybag that has 2 unique minifigures in it. That's what's so cool about this one. Both the Disco Batman and Tears of Batman minifigure. So, I guess the Disco one's the shoes, the Tears is that one. So it has 2 figures in here, and this one polybag. That's really, really interesting to me. Came out in 2017, as I said. And people sell usually both figures separately. But if it's sealed, obviously, it has both of them. It ranges anywhere between, I'd say, 30 to 40 bucks, but sometimes you can get it for cheaper if you're lucky. So yeah, really interesting figures, kind of ridiculous looking, but they got some interesting parts that you could have for other Batmans, like a purple belt and like a yellow. No, this one doesn't have a belt. That one has like a purple one though, so that's kind of interesting, like a gold cape. Yeah, it has cool parts, cool interesting parts, and like a green Batman cape over there. So it's kind of cool that it has all these unique pieces for the usual Batman we find, that we have. So that is that. Now we are moving on to 2018. And we get 2 polybags. Almost at the home stretch here, guys. Just a little bit more. We're going to look at Lex Luthor. I believe he might have come from a video game. He might not have, I forget. But he's also in like a huge polybag compared to Jessica Cruz here. Look at how small she is compared to his bag. This is like the usual Lex Luthor bag that we looked at earlier. It's like a huge plastic bag for no point. A really nice torso though, really nice detailing. I love this like reflective blue S. It looks really cool. And no second head because he's bald, so he should only have one face. Can't show it though. You can see it on the front anyway. And nice detailed legs. There's also reflective paint. And where's that logo? This is 2018. I always like to show that so I'm not making it up. There it is. Yep, 2018. So, that's Lex Luthor. A pretty simple figure. He's relatively expensive, but not super expensive. And here is Jessica Cruz. She came out in a I feel like a Comic-Con, but she was like cheaper somehow for some reason. I'm not sure exactly. I forget the way of how she came out, but she's a cool figure to have. Especially if you're into collecting all the Green Lanterns. She's like a must-have if you like all the Green Lantern characters. She has a really nice printing on the torso and the back. And nice face too. It's hard to do this one-handed, I'm sorry. I believe she just has one face though. Maybe she has 2. Let me check. She does have 2. Yeah, she has 2 faces. So she has like this angry expression and like the front, which is like the calm expression. So she does have 2 faces and printed legs. It's not blue molded. And let's see if I can get that back fixed. Just for funsies, so I can show you the back torso. If I can. Maybe I can't. Well, you can always go to Bricklink and look at it that way if you care. But yeah, she has a nice printed torso in the back as well. Last but not least, here we go. Here is Shazam, also known as Zachary Levi. He's a great character. Yeah, great actor. I always liked his show in Chuck, which I grew up with. So this figure is basically the same as the other one from the actual set, but he comes with hair instead of a hood. So he still kind of counts as unique, kind of like the same situation with like the Jack Sparrow with the tricorn hat that came out in 2011. He was technically not unique pieces, but since the pieces were in that formation, in that bag, that makes him technically unique, which is why I bought it. Same thing for Shazam. So Shazam came out in 2019, which is right there, you can see. And this is the very last DC polybag we have ever gotten. Again, it's in a big bag, like Lex Luthor. And it came out right when the movie did. I think he actually came out in the DVD. In a DVD of Shazam, or like some sort of Lego Shazam. Something with Shazam. And that's where you can find him. He's pretty cheap. he's not super expensive. I've seen him as low as like $5 and like anywhere to like, 15 to 20, 25. So he's kind of all over the place. Probably because he's still kind of new. But this is a much better option to get than the 2012 San Diego Comic-Con one, because he goes for really a lot of money. So this is, if you want Shazam, get this Polybag. This is probably the one you want. And that's basically it.
Well, I hope you liked the video and all the Polybags ever of Marvel and DC all together. And thank you so much for 100 subscribers. It means a lot to me. So take care of yourselves and keep checking out my channel for new content. And alright then, head on a spike out.